Having a difficult classroom when you're a substitute teacher can be really extremely frustrating. I have been there myself, and I know how that makes you feel. It just makes you want to run away and leave the kids there and run and scream out of the school like, ah! Well, we are not going to do that as substitute teachers because we are professional. So, what I'm going to let you know today is the right strategies to help you become more manageable when you do have a classroom that is extremely challenging. So here are 8 tips for you for when this does happen. Before we start, my name is Alexa. I am a substitute teacher mentor where I help you thrive within the classroom. Remember to hit that subscribe button so that there are more substitute teachers that can find my channel. Number 1 is really, really important. Set expectations early. So as the students walk in the door, make sure that you are always greeting them, okay? Doesn't matter if it's elementary or if it's high school, always greet the students at the door. Let them know that there's a welcoming person in the classroom. And obviously, it can be a distraction sometimes, like, oh my gosh, Mrs. So-and-so isn't here today, but that's okay. You are their teacher for the day, but just let them know that they are welcome and you are a safe person that they can be with for the day. And definitely make sure that you introduce yourself so that way, of course, they know who you are, because students can't learn from you if they don't know, like, or trust you. And in this case, it is the no. Introduce yourself and then lay down those rules. I have a video right here on expectations for you to get into further detail, but it's really, really important that you do set expectations so that they are not going to be everywhere for you. So yeah, again, just make sure that they are basic rules that they can follow for the day, and reinforce any rules that are already done by the teacher. That was like a tongue twister, geez. And that way, if the rule is not followed, then you can write that down in the subnotes. Number 2 is to stay calm and confident. Always be confident. Even if your class is absolutely chaotic, maintain your composure. Students do respond to someone who is more calm and who is in control. So just for an example, say there is a kid who does have behaviors, it's known, and let's just do a scenario of a cell phone. Okay, you're a substitute teacher in high school and you say, like, get off of your cell phone. Okay, and this student blatantly just says no. You can sit there calmly, hopefully you're standing, calmly, and just say, put your phone away one more time, or it's going on my desk, your teacher's desk. You never want to yell at them, embarrass them, say something that could embarrass them. I don't really know how someone does that, or even touch the student. Never do that. That will escalate. And because cell phones are such a bad issue, you do not want them to be recording you and making you look bad for when all you wanted to do was just for them to put their cell phone away. Okay? So again, just remain calm. And if they don't give you their cell phone or whatever you're trying to get them to not do, just write it down and pick your battles, okay? But again, just remain calm and confident. Number 3 is build rapport quickly. Always engage with the students. Again, I said this earlier, but make sure that you greet them at the door. Let them know that you are welcoming and you are excited to be here for the day, because that really, really helps. And really show your genuine interest within them. So there could be a student who has a jersey on and you say, hey, like, what sport do you play? And like, oh, basketball. And be like, awesome. What position do you play? And like, let them know that you're interested in them. Or you see a student drawing after they're done with their work and they did a really nice picture of, I don't know, a lake. And you're like, oh, like, it's a lake. Where, like, is this somewhere specific? Or ask them, or say, like, that is really cool. I think you should do some drawing camps in the summer, or something along those lines. I don't know, I'm making it up, but you get the point. As when you are interested, when you show interest in that student, they feel safer with someone who wants to know about them, and they will learn from you if you take interest in them. And also use humor and positive reinforcement. So if you have a tense situation, you can use humor and praise and just have positive interactions. And of course, this would be when it is appropriate. Number 4 is keep students engaged. Okay, you need to stick to the lesson plan. If the teacher does leave the lesson plan, make sure that you follow it absolutely to a T. And what you could do is say it's kindergarten and they're learning the order of the alphabet and they learn it in a song. Well, you can get up with them and do it. Or maybe you finish the lesson and you know something is on YouTube for kindergarten and it's a fun, interactive ABC learning. Then go ahead and do that and sing it again, or ask them in a different way. You know, like, you can do what you want with the lesson, just as long, well, kind of. You can do what you want with the lesson as long as you are following the lesson plan. And another thing that you can do is, I will mention this in other videos too, but as a substitute teacher, it is also important. You don't have to do this, but it's a good idea if you come up with your own worksheets. So there is a resource called Teachers Pay Teachers where you can go on and find hundreds of worksheets. Some are free, some are not, but they're only like $1.89, something like that. And you can find different activities. So say you know that you're in 4th grade social studies and the night before you print off 30 sheets. Maybe the students are learning about government, so you can print off something about the government or a coloring sheet of government, whatever you feel is appropriate, and you take that. So when they have extra 5-10 minutes in the classroom, you can hand them those sheets and they can do it. You don't even have to tell them that you brought it, but it's important to have that so that way, like, you have a filler so that the kids don't get off track. Number 5 is proximity and classroom management. So you always want to be moving around the classroom. Your presence in different areas of the classroom can keep the students from doing anything distracting. So especially now, since there's technology and kids have iPads and tablets, whatever it is, they need to be like engaged with what they're doing. So maybe they're supposed to be on Blackboard, but they're on Roblox. We know that that's not appropriate. So walking around and monitoring that is really important. And even if they're not on iPads or whatever, and they're in groups and you're walking around that whole time, maybe being with a group for 1 minute and then a group another minute, and seeing them be engaged, they will be on task if you are doing that. You don't have to be excessive walking around and like creeping on them and making sure, you know, but like let them have their space and just monitor. I think that goes a long way. Also, redirecting behavior. You can, of course, address small issues before they escalate. So maybe there was a group. So say students were in a group and one friend was in one group and another friend was across in another group, and one friend throws an eraser to the other group, and you're like, you can go to that student and talk to them, not like yell and be like, hey, don't do that. I said don't do that. No. Walk to that student and just say, hey, we don't throw things in class, okay? And then go get the eraser from the other kid or where it is, or make that student get up and get it, and that's it. If it escalates, then we need to take some other measures here. Just be firm, be calm, and redirect them back to their work. And always write that in the lesson plan as well. And always write that in your subnotes as well. Number 6 is use consistent and fair consequences. Make sure to set consequences early. Make sure that the students understand the consequences that you will be given for the day. So when you set your expectations, back from my number 1, and you set that expectation for them, what's going to be the consequence? So you can say something like, you are going to be working hard. So number 1 expectation that I have for you today is that you guys are going to be hardworking. So your teacher has this math sheet for you to fill out, and she needs you guys to get it done because you do have a quiz the next day. So we are going to be working hard on it. If you do finish, what I will do is write down your name so that your teacher knows that you finished your work. Now, that is a nice consequence because they want to be on a positive note. So if they are not on it, then they don't get that positive note, which hopefully they'll be on it. But you could do something as like, if you're talking when I don't want you to be talking, then you are moving up front next to me, something like that. I don't know, consequence. Sending the teacher, that would be you. Sending the student out to the principal if they're misbehaving, but hopefully won't get to that point. And then make sure you follow through consistently. If you warn a student about a consequence, follow through with that manner. Number 7 is seek support if needed. Never, ever, ever, ever be afraid to ask for help. You are a human being, and crap happens within the classroom. Students misbehave. Think about it when you were in school, when you had a substitute teacher, and it might not have been you being the class clown, but it was someone else, and how that you could see in the face how it made a substitute teacher feel. Never hesitate to call a classroom next door or the principal, someone who can step in and help. It will make your life easier. It does not make you weak. The students would like to think that, but no, it doesn't make you weak. You just needed help in that situation, and you can move on. And number 8 is end the day positively. Reflect on the day. Sometimes there are moments when it's a chaotic day in classroom situation, but sometimes there are positives within that classroom, and you can say them out loud to the class. Maybe you have 5 minutes at the end of the day and you can say, hey guys, today wasn't like your best behaved day, but what I do want to reflect on is how you guys worked very well. Maybe they just were being loud and it was chaotic and there was maybe 1 or 2 things that went on, but you can say to the class, next time I'm here, we are going to do better in this way. Something like that. And then leave notes for the substitute. Oh my gosh. Then leave notes for the teacher. So they want to know every single detail from the time that you went in to the time that you ended. So make sure you write down who misbehaved and how. It's so important because they are the ones who are really going to give consequences to the students. So Alexa would not stop talking. I moved her seat 3 times and she still was disrespectful. Johnny threw the eraser across the room and it hit a girl in the back of the head and she started crying. I don't know how eraser would do that, but you know what I mean. And just say like, I accidentally escalated a situation based on cell phone usage. I know that you wanted cell phones to not be in the classroom. I tried really hard and it didn't really work out today. Whatever the situation may be, let that teacher know. They're not going to be mad at you. They will be hopefully not mad at the students, but be firm with them for when they come back. And so that way, when you are back in that classroom, those students know how to act. I hope that these tips really helped you so that you can manage the most challenging class ever and you can have a positive substitute teaching experience. Let me know how you have handled difficult classrooms. I'll see you in the next video.